What's up? I'm back in Kansas, and I didn't think I was going to be coming back. I thought last trip was my final trip of the season, but I got to come back for a few days right before the end of the season here in late December. There's still snow on the ground. I don't know when it snowed here last, but I think it's just been brutally cold, which means the deer are probably worn down and hungry. And so I'm going to be hunting some staging before food on a private place that we got permission on a couple years ago. I'm going to be right in the center, so I'm going to walk about a half mile in. Haven't hunted this particular tree in a couple of years, only hunted it one time. So pretty excited to see what happens tonight. I saw a buck here last time in the daylight, even though there hasn't been a whole lot of data showing on the trail camera from daylight activity. I know they're in on this property in the daylight some, but I just got to figure out where it is. So I'm going to go give it a try this afternoon. If that doesn't work, I'm going to public land tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. I'm reaching out pretty far. Going to be getting up early, taking off, and hunting a full day on some public land elsewhere in hopes that there's enough bucks around still that I can get a shot at something. So I'm pretty excited about this evening, actually, my chances and everything. I've got a pretty good wind. I just need a buck to come by, checking some does out or being hungry or something. You know, late season, things can happen. I know a lot of people get down on it, but not me. I like shooting bucks in December. So as a public land hunter, you don't always bring a saw because you can't trim on public land a lot of times. So, forgotten my saw on this trip, and I'm sitting in a hackberry, very low to the ground. It's super bushy, got a lot of limbs, good cover, but it's going to be hard to get shots. So, luckily we've got a good strong 10 to 15, 20 mile an hour wind, depending on the gust here from the north. That's going to help mask the sound as I break these limbs. And they're pretty gummy, they're hard to break. So I'm gonna try to get as many out of the way as possible, get some shots, and then get up in the tree, get set up, and get quiet. Turning this thing into a fine scrape tree. So I'm 5 feet up in this tree. Like where my platform would be it's not there because it's the crotch of the tree. 5 foot up. But it's pretty good cover really, because in the crotch, all these branches come out. And there's 2 main branches that are like almost as big as I am around if I turn sideways especially. So I think I blend in pretty well, and I can hide as deer approach from different angles behind these trunks. Blend in really well, hopefully. A lot of top pin right here. At this point, it's basically just kind of waiting on deer 30, as Hunter says. Got Milo and wheat out here. The Milo is closest. The wheat is in the pivot. So therefore, they're going to want the wheat after the Milo has probably soured for a couple months now. They're going to spend more time on that wheat, probably as a preferential food source. So hopefully that means they're going to push through here a little bit earlier. Can be plenty of shooting light, plenty of camera light, plenty of searching light. There's big bucks in this area. Hadn't seen one in the daylight yet really, but it could happen this time of year. Run down, got food, that's what we need. December's a great month. I'm excited. was a pretty cool encounter. That buck is a future stud. It was huge bodied for a 1.5, you know. I mean, and you can tell he's multi-tied. He's got kind of everything proportional relative to what he is. Like, good. He looks good, you know. I mean, it's weird to get excited about deer like that, but if you get to hunt a property for a few years, you know, that's the kind of deer that you hope you see in 3 more years. So, that was a cool encounter. I rattled him in from quite a ways. I didn't think he would hear me, and he came running. Got that boss buck attitude, even though he came in, you know, knowing his place, I'm sure, kind of cautiously. But I mean, dude, he was at like literally 5 to 7 yards right here. I mean, he was super close. And, you know, he kind of noticed something up here, but it wasn't enough to spook him. Then he saw those deer out there and made a little kind of half-hearted scrape deal or whatever out there, and then kept going. Got about 5 minutes left of shooting light, even though I can see plenty good. But we got a full moon over here in the east. Clear skies across the board here, which we haven't had a lot of this year in Kansas. And with the lack of trees, it's just, it stays, you know, daylight forever. So, but I gotta quit in about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna keep tabs on that time. It doesn't look like anything else is coming in, because I can see for quite a ways, so I'll probably start packing up pretty quick.